What's up, guys? Lucas Darnino here. And last weekend, I won the Montreal Regional with Vanquish Soul Canine. As you can see here, this list isn't really a standard Vanquish Soul Canine list, I would say. I changed around some of the ratios and I made some deck building decisions, like cutting down on the canine package. So I just kind of wanted to make this video to explain my reasoning for some of these decisions and maybe help some of you. So let's get into the deck profile. The Vanquish Soul ratios are pretty much standard. We're playing 3 Raisin, 3 Xiaolong, 3 Su, 3 Madlove, 3 Stake, 1 of each spell trap, 1 Caesar, and 1 Borger. So for Borger, some people play this card at 2, but when I was building my deck, I wanted to play it at 1. I don't really want to see this card in my hand. It's heavily searchable by all these cards, and it doesn't really do anything on its own aside from being an attribute. Some people could say that by playing more of these types of cards that bounce back, you insulate yourself more from targeted effect negations like Valor or Imperm. But against like Valor or Imperm against Raisin or Madlove, most people aren't going to Valor or Imperm Madlove. They're going to wait for the Rock to add back because the risk to reward kind of scenario from Valoring and Imperming a Madlove and Raisin, in my opinion, isn't really worth it. So most people are going to wait for the Rock to get guaranteed value, like stopping an add back and potentially cutting off an attribute for Holy Su, which could stifle their turn a lot. So most people aren't going to be Impering or Valoring these cards, meaning this gets less value in general. I am playing 1 Rhoda for consistency. Even if you open Rhoda plus Raisin, it's still good. You want to see as many fires in your hand as possible for extra Xiaolong searches. It's just good. Redundancy is not a problem in Vanquish Soul. And for consistency cards, we are playing Small World and Prosp. A lot of people opt to play Pot of Extravagance over these cards, but in my opinion, these cards are better. I feel like there's multiple problems with Pot of Extravagance, and also Pot of Extravagance doesn't really go along with like my playstyle, like how I like to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like when I'm deck building in Yu-Gi-Oh, I like to put in as many cards as possible that give me control over what's going to happen. So Pot of Extravagance, when you activate it, a lot of things can go wrong. You can say the same for cards like Small World and Pot of Prosperity, but I feel like when you activate a Pot of Extravagance, a lot more things can go wrong compared to when you activate Small World or Prosp. For example, you banish all 3 Rock. You're kind of screwed. You banish like a 1 of, like extra deck card that's like vital to help breaking the board or pushing. You're kind of screwed. For Prosp, you can choose what you banish from the extra deck, and you also choose what you're getting. Another problem with Extrav is what if you just don't draw engine, you draw 2 hand traps, and you still can't play. You gotta pass, and that doesn't feel good, even if you went +1, technically. That's where cards like Small World and Prosp, I think, really come to benefit this deck in terms of consistency. Because with Small World and Prosp, you know what you're getting. You can choose what you're getting. And it doesn't affect your extra deck at all. While you could say for Extrav, you could play more copies of vital extra deck monsters like Rocks, for example, or SP, or Ripper. This just hurts the versatility of your extra deck in general. Like in games where you don't draw Extrav, having 3 Rock or 3 SP or 3 Rip in your extra deck is going to feel really bad when you need kind of more like a toolbox. So that's why I decided to play these cards. I think these cards just are for Vanquish Soul, are the premier form of consistency. I could be proven wrong, but for the meantime, I think these are definitely the best way to go. For Canine Package, I kind of slimmed it down a bit, like I said earlier. I'm playing 3 Jokul, 3 Azuna, and 1 Lupus. The reasoning for this, for 3 specifically, is so extra versions, a lot of people decided to play 1, which I think is definitely fine too. But I prefer 3 Jokul. Adding more Jokul to your list just increases consistency in general, and drawing dark attributes for turn 0 Holy Su plays is good, and it just makes like previously unplayable hands playable. Like if you have a Holy Su that can't be summoned, but you have the correct attributes, just not Vanquish Soul monsters, Jokul will make that hand playable. That specific scenario came up once, I think, at the regional. It is niche, but that just adds to the overall consistency, which I think is definitely a good thing for a deck like this. This card also kind of insulates yourself against Nib better. So over YCS Vancouver, I was looking at all the lists, and a lot of lists were playing Nibiru the Primal Being. So when you activate Jokul and summon it in a 5, you get the search, you make Ripper immediately, so you not only you set up your attributes, you completely insulate yourself from Nibiru. Usually, when you're bridging from Vanquish Soul to Canine, you're going to play into Nibiru very hard, because on your 5th summon, most of the time, or because you're going to be getting to 5 summons most of the time when you're making, trying to make a Ripper, they're going to nib you there, and that's going to feel really bad if you don't already like have the trap in hand or something like that. So just starting with Jokul insulates yourself completely from nib, and allows you to play a little more greedy when it comes to getting like the full value out of all your Vanquish Soul effects. And while some people say like this card isn't the best going second, I kind of disagree. While it isn't the best into Yummy specifically because of the Cookie Book of Moon, Book of Mooning both monsters you're going to summon off this, it is pretty. I feel like it's a pretty good push into decks like Draco Tail, Rizal, decks of the like. And worst case against Yummy, you can just side them out game 3. Izuna and Rip and Lupus rather. I'm playing them 3-1 standard ratio. These cards are insane. These cards even have application against decks where you wouldn't think they have application, like Yummy for example. If you try to turn 0 play like a Holly Sue, where you try to Fua them and they ash you, you're just going to be able to Izuna them there. And that's going to be a very strong interruption. Getting rid of the Yummy bodies early is very good before they can make the Link 1. So even in matchups where normally you would think, oh, this card is dead, it's not even dead, which I think just goes to show how versatile and insane this card is. For non-engine, we're on Ash, Fire, negates like half the card, like the most important cards in the format, like namely Izuna, Holly Sue, Fua, just a crazy card. It's also Fire, so that definitely helps when assembling your attributes. Mag, this card is crazy. Not only does it give you a body and interrupt your opponent, but it also searches you your Caesar Valius, which is really good just to have like a guaranteed bounce back. They try to like insulate your Raisin and Madlove from like monster effect negation or destruction. So that's really, I think this card is, before it gets banned, everyone, if you have a dragon in your deck, people should be playing this. This card is insane. DD Crow, it's a dark, and it has just a lot of application in different matchups like Mitsu. It's even good into like decks where you wouldn't think it'd be good, like Malice. If they already use a name and they try to like Splash Mage Revive, you can Crow it. That's a little more niche, but it just goes to show like Crow is like an extremely versatile card, I feel like. And also, it also hits Izuna, which is one of the main reasons I played it. I did play against a lot of Canine, and this card came in clutch because when they go Izuna, send Lupus, and they try to Lupus summon back to make a rank 5, you can just Crow it, cutting it off right there. So you not only trade for the Izuna, but you trade for the Lupus in deck, which is going to be very important in the grind game. And lastly, for the main deck, we have Fua. So it sucks that it's not an attribute. It is level 4 though, which helps with your small world bridges when you draw it, because you can go Fua, Madlove, Raisin. So that just helps you get into engine. This card is probably the best card of the hand trap. I think best hand trap of the format, rather. I think you need to be playing this. Onto the side deck. So the only card I think I would probably change in my entire list, frankly, is Solemn Warning. You already have enough going first cards in your side that you're about to see here. And also, when I sided it in, it just felt like overkill. Like when I drew it, I was just winning the game off my Cannon cards and my Vanquish Soul cards alone. Like I didn't really need it to win. So this card moving forward should probably be a going second card that's also doubles as an attribute. So maybe something like a Phantasme or a Nihilus. Yeah, this card wasn't really that good for me this weekend. Or last weekend, rather. For going first cards, and also going second, Metaltronus. This card has a bit of an issue into a wide format, because if you play a lot of decks, most of the time you're not going to have a lot of good targets for it. But this problem is kind of ignored by Vanquish Soul, just because of the nature that all of them are different types and different attributes. Like, this is a Fire Warrior, this is a Dark Fiend, this is a Light, this is the Earth Psychic. Like, you can target Fenrir with Metaltronus and summon Holy Sue. It has so much application into so many different decks, and it's just so versatile. Like, against turn 0 hand traps. Like, they try to summon Arthalion, Dragon Tail. You go Metaltronus, summon Caesar. They try to Holy Sue you. You go Metaltronus, summon Holy Sue. They try to Izuna you. You go Metatronus, target Izuna. It Dispel not only gets rid of turns your hand traps, it gives you an extra body to work with, and also it's not even bad going second. In fact, it's good going second because it not only can get a key effect, but also give you an extender to help push and break the board. For other going first cards, we have the Cannon package. I needed to make room for extra consistency cards, and these cards definitely don't add to your consistency at all. You don't really want to draw any of these cards. So I just decided that my Vanquishal end board and like my minimal Canine end board would be good enough to beat most decks, which was right. The Vanquishal cards alone are crazy as interruptions. So these cards are only really needed, I feel, for game 3 when people might be sending in more board breakers to try to break your board. This card plays really well into board breakers because it's set. So if they go like drop a Dark Ruler, this won't be affected. You get a pop and you get a hand rip, which is really powerful. Perilia, this card is pretty crazy as well. I didn't want to main it because then I'm getting a lot of cards that aren't attributes, which creates a lot more awkward hands. Again, it's a water. So I just want to decide it for matchups where I'm going second, and I know it's going to be live. And lastly, for the side deck, Lancia. Malice is still a real deck, unfortunately. It's also getting its Canine Crystron, which is picking up a lot of steam. I've seen on YouTube and like big tournaments in general. So I think this card is still auto 3 in your side deck, unfortunately. Onto the extra deck, we have Ojama Knight. Obviously, I'm not actually summoning it. Legitimately with 2 Ojama monsters. It's for Metatronus. So this is probably the best target for Yemi, because not only is it a light beast level 5, the level 5 stat line, helping you extend going second, by making like these powerful like board breaking type rank 5s. It's also a 0 attack, which can give you more application to some rogue decks. For example, Sage with Eyes of Blue. You can negate Sage with Eyes of Blue against like Blue Eyes, so that's like decent. Like, I already have a lot of side cards with Blue Eyes looking at it now, so like Metatronus, summon Ojama, and I negate their Sage. That's not bad. Also, I guess you can negate Seals, thinking about it now. Both are 0 attack lights, so that could have some application against Dragotail. So yeah, overall, this is probably just the best target for Metatronus for Yemi. We have Nash Knight, the whole Nash package. I'm specifically playing the Masquerade variant, not the Nash Knight. Or not Nash Knight, Honor Arc. Some people say it's better for going second than Nash Knight, and I don't think that's even necessarily true. Because one thing, like, the deck doesn't really lack, but it can struggle with sometimes, is removing a lot of back row. Because most of the time you're going to be using your Caesar, stuff like that, like your rocks to clear monsters and not back row. So when you bait all your opponent's interruptions and you're kind of in the board breaking like stage, like it's main phase 2, and you need to get rid of that back row, like for example, a Crystron Cluster, you can't SP banish it because of the clause on Crystron Cluster. So having something like Umbral Horror Masquerade can be really good because not only it helps break the board, it's also a really like high quality negate. Like halves their life, negates, and rips a card from their hand. So that halving life can put them in like game range with like Borger, for example, and ripping a card out of their hand is just good no matter the situation. So I think I would play this over the Honor Arc package. Ripper and Werewolf for the canines, standard. Typhon. I think just we're in a really grindy format. This card comes up a lot. I would play it. Valon, it's another 5 for the cannon cards. So that on your opponent's turn, you can make another rank 5. Valon is pretty good. It's probably the best like 3rd rank 5 target. And Rocks. I don't even know about this, but there's a discourse about cutting this card. I think you have to play this card. This card is like insane. It won me at least 4 games. Just being able to convert your Rock into a monster that could be linked off, like something for SP, is really powerful. And even like the effect of Pop is like surprisingly powerful. It comes up a lot to destroy things like monsters, back row, like going second. Are you kidding me? Bruh. Inactivity. After Rocks, we have Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. It's just a really powerful toolbox type card. It's good in the mirror because you can try to like take your opponent's Jokul, and try to bait out some interactions this way. And when it's popped by something like a Snow Devil or a Raisin, you actually have a lot of pretty good search targets, like a Heavy Borger or a Crow, for example. So this card is just good. It also has some weird application with Metatronus against like something like Memento, because like you can negate Anguish. So just that extra bit of added value there. After that, we have 3 Rock, Heart and Soul of the deck. I think you need to play 3. It just comes up in grind. Really powerful card. Deck would be like nothing without it. And SP Little Knight. It's SP Little Knight. This card creates for breaking boards. And it's much easier to make in this deck now with the advent of rocks. So yeah, that's my Vanquish deck list. Overall, again, I don't think I would change anything really. Everything worked out really well for me. I'm super happy with the list, other than the warning, I guess. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Go get some small worlds at cardbrawlers.com. Link in description.